Outcast to Outstanding. First video. This video is gonna be from the year 0 to 6 years old. So, I was born in Kenya, Nairobi, 1995. I'm 23 years young right now. March 15th, so I'm a Pisces. So we were in Kenya, Nairobi because it started, war happened in Sudan. So we had to move from Sudan after my older sisters, Gloria Elizabeth, were born. We moved from Sudan. We went to Uganda when my third sister Rose was born, and then finally Kenya, where we were in a refugee camp, and then I was born. So 10 months prior to my birth, we came to Canada. We landed in Vancouver, Quicklum. It's hard for me to say that word till now, but I think BC people can figure it out. But y'all can Google it to figure it out to understand where exactly I was. We landed in. So in BC, what I was told from 0 to 4, which is when I start remembering 4. But anyway, 0 to 4, I was kind of like a rowdy kid, I was always so loud. I tend to like to walk around naked in public, in stores and stuff. I was like the youngest child, the pest, the annoying one, the one that just wants everything. So when I hit 4, the earliest memory I can honestly say about 4 would have to be about. Okay, so I went out to the superstore with my mom one day, and when on our way back, she's lost, and I'm wondering, why are you lost? Like, what is going on? And she's like, I don't know which way to go, and she's trying to figure it out. I'm only 5, okay? Remember, keep in mind. And then I was telling her, I was like something, I saw a star, and something told me to follow that star, and I said, Mom, follow that star. Sylvia, get out of here with your nonsense all the time, talking nonsense, So I was like, okay, I guess I'll keep quiet and mind my business. But something spoke to me and said, listen, direct her, but don't tell her you're following the star. So I told her, Mommy, that she got to be getting lost, and this is when I started to see the star disappear because I didn't listen. All of a sudden, I'm like, no, Mommy, turn back. I think you need to go that way. I see that house. I see our house. So I would tell her this way, that way, because I saw the star. And finally, before you knew it, we were home. So as we got inside, my mom was like, yeah, I guess I took the wrong way. I went this way. Oh my gosh, it was so scary because, back then she didn't have a phone. There was no cell phone. You used payphones. So it was not reliable. And back then you didn't have I don't know if you had GPS, but we didn't have GPS. But there's maps, This is like 1998 or 7. Yeah, 1998. So, yeah. So then she was like, oh my gosh, I thought I was going to be lost forever. Oh, so scary. There's no nowhere, no phone, no whatever. And I'm just like, Mommy, I told you to follow the star. Just like the 3 wise men from the Bible story. You gotta follow the star. And she's like, Sylvia, be quiet, stop it, That doesn't make sense. But something touched me right here, and I just knew I was right. That was my first spiritual contact. With the spiritual realm, I mean. And wow, I can't believe it actually started that way back. Like, I actually totally, and that story always came up to me, and I never knew it started way back. I have to speak on a quote that I feel like really helps with, I'm gonna start with quotes for every video, and I hope you guys understand the effect of the quotes. And I'm going to speak on some, because music was a big thing in my life, so I'm going to speak on the songs I can remember, because I feel like the senses and the things that you felt and you loved and you adored it's a big part of my story. So, unexpressed emotions will never die. They are buried alive and will come forth in later and uglier ways. So, I chose this, by Sigmud Freed. So, I chose this quote because I feel like this is all where it started. You know, this is where the seed was planted, and it grew, and it grew, and it grew, and it grew. To here. So, so yeah, I was 4 years old. That's the earliest memory I could probably tell you guys about. um, when I was 4, I think I was very like first staying home with my older sisters is what I remember. Um, they took care of me, kept the place clean. I had like a pink chair because I was royalty, and I had a little pink cup. So I'd watch TV in my pink chair, my pink cup. If I messed anything up, trouble with my sisters. They did not play. Mostly I can remember Elizabeth. She was mostly the one that took care of me. And I can remember her like really trying to teach me, stay clean, sit like this, behave like this, don't touch things, They were in school, so I remember them going to Catholic school. It was all hair dressed up and uniformed up, everything. They were going to school, and I was not in school yet because I'm 4. So, my sister was born around close to that time, but my mom was pregnant with my sister. I kind of don't remember the pregnancy. It kind of just came out of nowhere. Baby's born, I remember watching 80s and 90s shows. Shows I can recall were mostly like late night Teletoon shows. I remember this lady, Zadel, I don't know if it was like around that time, Zelda. On YTV, this lady used to read fortune cards. And I remember every time she come on TV, they would turn her off. And I was always like curious, who is this lady? So, she used to read fortune cards. Funny enough, it always, all these spiritual things always intrigued me. I always wanted to know more. But I was told, nope, don't watch that stuff. I remember us going to Catholic churches. I remember the priests and all, everything was just physically proper. And I remember I remember one time we did go to church and I acted a fool and my mom took me all the way home. She was like, nope, I'm not having this. Or another time my dad took me home too. Because I was very rowdy. I was very loud. I was just that girl that wanted to explore, I guess, have fun. But you're not supposed to do that. You're supposed to sit pressed, be nice. You're a girl. You can't acting and behaving in that way. I remember the berry trees. Ooh, they were because we lived in a apartment that was brick town, and I remember we had berry trees along the apartment, and those berry trees were so yummy, and it made me fall in love with berries. I could still taste that feeling of the blackberries, the raspberries, blueberries, all those berries. They were so yummy to me. I remember as a kid, that's what I always enjoyed picking out and putting in my mouth, I think those are my favorite fruits as a child. During that time. Grapes too, when I would get home, I eat grapes. It was really beautiful. It was really yummy. It was really fun to be able to go outside and touch fruits and stuff. I remember going swimming. There was always parks where they had swimming pools beside them. So every time we go swimming, there would be every time there's a park, there's usually a pool. So therefore you go swimming. I think that's where I got my first fear, probably I'd have to say. Because I remember going into the deep end and screaming for help. My sister saved me and she's like, oh, don't go there again, I think another fear moment would probably be a dog. I remember this dog chased me down. I feel like he bit me, from what I remember, and dragged me across the field. And I was horrified. I was like, dogs are scary. They will... I thought this dog was going to rip my leg off. It was so scary. And the guy was so, like, he felt bad because I'm a little 4-year-old here and I just got bitten in the leg by a dog, you know? It's really scary. And he was telling us how it's okay, you know, the dog won't bite. Crazy people. Okay. So, when my sister was born, I noticed we spent a lot more time with my mom going, like, my mom and my dad, we go out to eat. But before that, it was mostly me and my dad, you know? Before my sister was born. I remember a saving moment for my dad would probably be when my dad ran, like, I remember my dad loving me because from everybody that was around me, it was always no. It was always, you're a pest. You're so annoying, Sylvia. Why don't you listen, Sylvia? You always cause issues. Like, I remember potty training was a big thing for them. When I was potty trained, I knew how to use the toilet, but I didn't want to use the toilet. So they didn't know that. So it was a fight. Every single one tried differently to try to make me use the toilet. From my uncle. Oh yeah, we came to Canada, by the way, with my uncle, my dad, my mom, and my 3 sisters, and me. So there was like 7 of us in total, so far. 3 adults, 3 kids, me. So I remember my sister Rose. She was so angry that I wouldn't use the toilet. She pinched me and she slapped me, and like, it was bad. And then finally one day, I think they caught on that I knew how to use the toilet. So I went and used the toilet. I didn't care. And that's when they were like, oh, so all we had to do was be nice to her or let her do it on her own, then she'll do it. Yeah. I remembering Rose, I'd have to say, she really, like, I think she, out of all the 3 that were annoyed at me, she'd be the most annoyed. And I always, I guess, felt as a kid, like she and, like, all of them would all gather against me and always say, Sylvia, why are you so annoying? Sylvia, why don't you listen? Sylvia, why can't you just be like a normal child? Like, damn, so, like, Sylvia, be quiet. Sylvia, everyone's always saying that. I'm always the rowdy one. I'm always a tough one. I'm always like all over the place. I'm always fighting if you fight me back. I'll scream and yell and I'll throw a tantrum, you know? So, yeah, Rose really, like, she was annoyed at me. Like, she couldn't have it. Like, it was like, you just being around me, it's like, boy. She was annoyed. But I noticed I wasn't the only one that was annoyed by her. Or, like, I wasn't the only one that was, that she was annoyed of. I remember one time she ran away. And when she ran away, my mom was so furious. She came back with the cops. She's like, why would you run away? This and that. It was a big drama. It was a big fight. And I remember feeling bad. I remember saying, Rose, I would have missed you if you left. And her banging the door and me saying, Sylvia, leave me alone. Get lost. Okay. So I remember this lady used to do my hair fancy, my Auntie Flora. And she had a son. His name was Amy. I know, weird name. But anyways, one day we were playing under the sheets with her son and my little sister. And he kissed me. And then my little sister kissed him. And then went back and forth. Mwah, 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 mwah. Kiss to him. You know. And that was my first experience of intimacy. And, because, like, there's not really kisses in my family. Like, nobody really kissed me or hugged me. So, having this boy, like, he wasn't really my crush, but he was like, oh, you know, like, a boy kissed me, you know, kind of thing. So, that was my first time of intimacy, and I believe I was 4 years old that time. I was 4, and my sister was probably like 2. So, we were young. We didn't know what we were doing, but, you know, experimenting. So, that was my first kiss, and I think I still remember that, like, it was yesterday. It was under some sheets. It was something else. Like, I always admired her. I always wished to be like her because she was always such a perfectionist. She had beautiful hair. She was a happy. Besides not liking me and not liking certain things with the family, she was always like out of there. And I admired that, that like strong, determined personality of I don't care. Like I am who I am and I'm gonna be who I am kind of thing. So I always admired that about her, but me and her never connected in that sense during that time at least. So I was 4 years old. I started when I was 5. That's when my sister Rose became a flower girl, and I remember feeling like, wow, this girl is so beautiful. I thought my sister Rose was the most prettiest, and yeah, I cried because I was jealous. Because I was always the jealous one because everybody is living glam and beautiful, and everybody's nice and tidy, and I'm always the one that's not so much. But I remember loving my dad. My dad was my best friend. Like, I had 2 best friends, actually, at the time. Barney and my dad. I'll start with my dad. My dad always read to me goodnight. He'd always hold me tight. He always told me, he always accepted me for me. I'd be crazy, wilding, blah, blah, blah. And then everyone would be like, oh, Sylvia. And then my dad would be like, no, leave her alone. And he'll grab me and he'll say, oh, Sylvia. And then he'll like rub my hair and hold me tight and give me a hug, and I would just feel all right. I remember there was a fire in the house, or like the fire alarm went off, and I was watching Barney, busy singing along to Barney. All of a sudden, my dad grabs me, and we run outside. He takes me outside, and I'm like, what is going on? And then I'm standing straight. My dad is standing behind me, and he's like, and I'm like, Baba, what's going on? And then he's like, nope, stay straight. So what happened was the fire alarm went off, and my dad was because we're immigrants, so he was so afraid. He was like, oh my gosh, there's a fire. All he wanted to do was save me, So he ran out of the shower naked. But life happens. So yeah, so he came out naked, and I remember just feeling a sense of protection. My dad always. I always felt this love. I always felt this overload of happiness. Barney was my second love because, honestly, I think that was the only time I heard those words. I love you. It was the only time. Like, with my sisters, my mom, my dad was the one to say I love you. I don't remember my dad saying I love you, but the only person that I can honestly say I can remember those words was Barney. And I loved that show because I just felt like there's kids like me. And it's okay to be you and be loved. Because I'm here being a pest. I'm here being annoying. I'm here told that, I just won't sit still. I just won't be like everyone else. And Barney would say, I love you. You love me. We're a great big happy family. And I think that's all I ever wanted. Once my sister was born, though, it was fun. It was beautiful. It was like, I finally felt like, this is my twin. This is my girl, But once my sister was born, that's when it got worse. Sylvia, why can't you be more like Emily? Emily is so quiet. Sylvia, why are you so annoying? Can you just be quiet, Sylvia? Shut up. Oh, Sylvia, just go away. Get lost. Oh. But I loved Emily. I didn't care. I thought to myself, me and Emily are 2 different people, Emily's accepted because she's quiet. And she's something I'll never be. I'll be me. And I'll continue to be the person I love to be. Because that's all I know how to be. Is me. I remember always going to my friend's house and saying, I just wish I had her life. This girl was the only child. And I always wished that I had. If I had to have an older sibling, it had to be a brother. If I had to be the only child, oh, even better. Because if I just have my mom and dad, they only have one to love. So therefore, they're going to love me like crazy. They're going to cherish me the way they held Emily. They're going to cherish me. You know, they're going to show me that love that they're not showing me right now because, you know, I'm not the only child at this point. So I'm just number 4. I'm the loud one in the past. I'm the one that's just full of it. Oh my gosh. Sorry, guys. Anyways, as the story goes on. So Emily has her first birthday. And we were, I guess, because, you know, back home, when you first come to Canada, you know, there's usually a welcome home, and there's usually people that want to welcome you and people that want to bring you so forth to this country, or like just show you around. So I think these white people weren't that. They were really nice. They had a beautiful garden, big house, and they brought us there. They had my little sister's first birthday, and I was just so happy for her birthday. And I looked around the table and I saw smiles, pure joy for her birthday, and I just felt like, oh, wow. Like, I'm like, I never had that recognition. I never had that love. Like, what? I never had you. I didn't think you, my older, like, I mean, one of them I saw smile a few times, but I didn't think they could smile like that. I didn't think they could be that happy. Just that joy they had for my sister, Emily. I had that joy too, but I kind of felt like, oh, wow. Like, am I that much? Like, wow, I must be too much. I must not be that great. But then my dad was like, so yeah, your birthday's coming, and when it comes, I'm going to make sure it's going to be a great birthday. And he did. So I came to my 6th birthday, I believe, or was it 5th? No, I was 4 that time. Oh gosh, this story is all mixed and matched. Okay, I was, I think, 5th birthday going to 6th. No, honestly, I believe it was 4th going to 5th. So, during that birthday, because I think my sister's birthday was actually when I was 4. Okay, so during that birthday, when I finally turned 5, it was blitz, you know? All my friends came through. So this is one guy, his name was Mambo, and that was my crush, because every single age I had a crush. So Mambo came through, and he was boisterous and crazy and loud and crazy, and I loved it because it's like we always did, like, I don't know, there's this weird game that we would do. We had these like paths that were so slippery, so we go slide, you know, and hit the wall, and it was fun. We thought, like, he was boisterous and crazy. He had a little sister. She was quiet. She was mellow, but she loved me. All she did was smile, you know. And then I had my cousins, Malia, Mimi. And I was just like, oh, my cousins, you know, they were such pretty girls, and they always brought me joy. And then Deborah came, the girl that I told you that we went to, what's it called? I went to her house, and she was the only child. So it was fun. Like, everybody was there. And I had this one girl that I was friends in the neighborhood. She was a brown girl. Yeah, so it was actually a beautiful party. It was nice. We didn't go anywhere, but it was just the fact that everybody was together. All for me. And I'm like, yo, this is beautiful, you know. I can't complain. Like, I'm so happy. I'm so blessed. Obviously, my sister came through and was just like, can you guys be quiet? And I'm like, no, we're not going to be quiet. It's my birthday. I'll do what I want. So, what did she do? Pinch. Like I said, I had a lot of scars when I was a kid because of all the fighting with my siblings. So, pinch, scratch, slap. And I was like, we all attacked her. We all literally attacked her and pushed her out. And my mom was all just like, what happened? What's going on? And then my sister's like, they all attacked me. Like a whole bunch of like 4, 5, 6, I don't know, year olds. And then my mom's like, why are you bothering? Because I'm like, no, she bothered us. And my mom's like, why are you bothering her? And she's like, why are you doing this? You know, it was a big scene for no reason. But anyways, moving on. it was lit. I felt like all this love. And that was my first birthday. I can honestly say I felt the love. And I was happy. And I had that, during that time, it was like an it thing to have that cake. It was this cake that was, I don't remember the inside of it, but I do remember it has like whipped cream on the outside, then flakes of chocolate, then whipped cream on the top, and a cherry. So if you didn't have that cake on your birthday, you were not having a poppin' birthday. So we had that cake on my birthday. But I remember, so it was a beautiful thing, My, funny enough, during this time, my dad wasn't there. And I was asking about my dad. Nobody's really telling me where he is. But he wasn't there. My favorite uncle, his name was Chaplin. He came through and he brought me a radio and a camera. How lit is that? So I got radios. Like, it was tiny. It was like this tiny radio, this tiny camera, and I had to take pictures. I lost the camera down the road, but I kept the radio for a while, actually. But anyway, yeah, that radio was so cute. And he had this nice flashy black car. He always made me feel like he was some sense of Batman. Because he would always post up to my mom's house and he'd bring us food. Like, he would just always bring me gifts. He was always in love with me. And those are the people that I could actually count down and say these people love me. My dad, my mom, my uncle. My dad, my little sister, my uncle, and Barney. Because they always showed me some type of, we like you the way you are, So, yeah, and I'm starting to notice more and more my dad's not here. Where's my dad? What happened? Like, what are you guys doing? My sister's like, mind your business, like, Sylvia, why do you, go away. So then one day I was like, why can't nobody listen? I was crying. I was getting mad at my mom. She was cooking in the kitchen. I'm pulling her dress, like, why won't nobody listen to me and tell me where my dad is? I miss my dad. And I ran to my room saying, and I cried. I'm like, the one person that I could say that was an adult that loved me is gone. I asked my mom, does he not love me? Like, it's bad enough I just felt like everybody does not like me. And Sylvia's too much. So am I too much? Is that why he left? Why can't anybody explain to me? And she's like, no, Sylvia. Your dad is coming back. We're just moving to Edmonton. I was like, what? You're like, yeah, we're moving to Edmonton. And I was like, Edmonton, why are we moving there? She's like, because you're going to be in kindergarten. I was like, I'm going to go to school. But she's like, yes, you're going to school. So I was like, yes, I can't wait to see my dad. And funny enough, a week later, I saw my dad, and I was so grateful. My dad read me a story. He fell asleep in my bed. Always sneaks off. I wake up in the morning, he's gone. It's like Santa Claus, bring the gifts, dip. So he was gone. And I was just so sad. I was like, I was so happy to always wake up in the morning seeing him again. I was just like, yes, daddy, he's here, he's home. My dad, my protector. So when we came to Calgary, all the way to Edmonton, oh my gosh, city mixed up. Anyways, so we're here getting to Edmonton. My mom took the plane with Emily. So my mom is in the airplane with my older sister Gloria and my little sister Emily, and then my dad and me are in the bus. I think it was a Greyhound or Red Arrow, whatever that bus was. And my older sister Rose and Elizabeth are in the front. So we're driving along, and I'm kind of jealous of my sister because I just wanted them to be safe, to be honest. And I was like, oh, my sisters. And my dad's calming me down because, he's the only one who can calm me down and keep quiet. So he took me on, he held me, and he said, Sylvia, it's okay. We're just going to Edmonton. You're going to be in kindergarten. You're going to be in school. I was like, oh, okay, I'm going to be in school. But the highlight of that ride was the mountains. Oh, my gosh. Those mountains were huge. And all I felt when I saw those mountains was as if I was, going through something and overcoming it. I felt like it's a new journey. It's a new beginning. Edmonton's going to be so glamorous, so beautiful, so full of this fresh air from the mountains, you know? And that's all I was only 5 years old, and I remember this. It was so beautiful. Anyway, so we landed in Edmonton, but unfortunately we don't have a place. So we end up in a hotel. My mom is nagging my dad, like, why didn't you get us a place before we came here? You told us you had a place, and all these fights and stuff, and I'm just like, I'm looking at my sisters and I'm jealous because they're swimming in the pool, and I'm like, I want to go swimming. And my mom was like, come sleep. And then I went back to sleep. I enjoyed that. Like, I don't know, it was a hotel or whatever. I enjoyed it so much. Then we ended up in a friend's house, and she has kids. I'm young. So it was a party, it was a showdown, you know? So I was so loud and I was wilding out, I was so crazy. And everyone else was telling me, Sylvia, can you just be quiet? Like, this is not our house, like, we need you to be quiet. And I was just like, what do you mean? I'm with all my other friends and you're telling me to be quiet? I'm with my little sister and you're telling me to be quiet? What do you mean be quiet? My sisters are telling me, you know, stop being loud. You know, we're now in someone's house. So this is the time we need you to be quiet. And I'm like, her kids are loud. What do you mean? I gotta be quiet. And like, whenever I'd ask her food, I would tell her kids to ask, and then she'd always be like, "Oh, Sylvia told you to ask." And I don't know. It was just too much. The house was just crowded. It was crazy. It was hectic. So one day the manager came, or her landlord, or whatever he was, and I was standing at the door with my auntie, and he was just like, yeah, these people gotta go. Like, this is getting too loud, too crazy, and it's not gonna work out, you know? We gotta, like, part ways. So luckily enough, within that time of we gotta part ways, we found government housing, you know, Capital Region Housing in Edmonton, and we moved in. And when we moved in, that's when I started everything. I started kindergarten in St. Elizabeth Elementary. My dad would walk me to kindergarten. Kindergarten was a time where I felt like it's time to be independent, it's time to reach out to other kids. And I feel like this is where I got to see more white kids. Kindergarten, you know, the excitement of getting ready to kindergarten and just exploring, because kindergarten is a creative time to be able to do all these arts and crafts and things. It was a beautiful time, and I felt fantastic. But when it came to recess time, I had no one to play with, you know. I remember I had a crush again. Like I said, I have crushes. I had a crush. His name is Jordan, this white boy. Brown hair, brown eyes, whatever. But it was like my first seeing white boys, so I liked his like weird brown haircut. It was like hair sticking out, and it was like it was just like he had a good head shape, so it was like just brown hair, short. And then this girl, like he had a crush on this girl named Crystal, and she had the nicest dress, she had the longest hair and bows in her hair, and she was such a pretty girl. Curly hair and stuff. I thought maybe hanging out with Crystal would make me get close to Jordan. But nope. Recess time comes along every single time, and I just felt it was like I continued to be the pest. I was pest, you know. I was a pest. I was annoying. So I would chase down Crystal and her crew of friends, and they always be like, Sylvia, you're too dark. Sylvia, you don't have hair like us. You have those weird things in your hair. Your hair is bald, you know. Sylvia, your dresses are so ugly. They look like a Christmas tree. Like, yeah. And I would chase them around because I thought, you know, they're just being mean because, you know, they're just being mean. But I didn't know it wasn't okay, you know. Sylvia, your hair is not like us. Sylvia, you don't look like us. You're the only one that looks like that in this class. And this is kindergarten. 6 years old. And I am experiencing racism. You know, I didn't know it was. I didn't know. You know, these girls would always make fun of my hair, make fun of my clothes. But the funny thing is, like I said, I was an outcast. So I enjoyed being alone in kindergarten. I didn't really care about anyone else, you know. I mean, I see my sister and I was excited to see her because I admired my sister. I thought she was, oh, so pretty. Oh, so fabulous. Oh, like she was like the popular girl in school, you know. She was in grade 5 that time. So every time I see her, hey, Rose, she'd always be like, don't talk to me, you know. And Crystal and her friends would laugh at me. They would be like, her own sister doesn't even like her, you know. Wow. So my dad would always, but my always highlight of kindergarten was being with my dad, him walking me to school, and just the excitement of going to kindergarten, him showing me how to tie my shoelace, you know, it taught me patience. Him like teaching me how to be, how much, he would always tell me how much he adored me and how beautiful I was. And he'd always give me those big hugs, and it made me feel good, you know. So going to kindergarten, that was probably something. Like I love the creativity. I love being artistic, but I had no friends. Luckily enough, a friend came. Her name was Salama, and she's Ethiopian. So when she came through the school, it was like, wow, like another black girl like me. Hey, you know. And yeah, we would do everything together. You know, we do all the artsy stuff. We chased down the Crystal and her crew, and they'd be like, you know, so like, you guys have ugly hair, or well, they kind of liked Philema more than me, to be honest. They were like, Philema is way nicer hair than Sylvia. Philema dresses better, but at the same time, Philema hung out with me, so it was all cool. Like, we were in our crew. But Crystal would always be like, yeah, Sylvia is so, like, she was annoyed at me, but then I realized not to hang out with her anymore. Like, I remember she would tell the supervisors, can you tell Sylvia to get away from me? She's so annoying. Me and Philema were just fun. We just explored the whole school. We would run around, go to the parking lot area, run around because we're not supposed to go there, so we just run around. Like, we were just having fun, you know? Like, this is another black girl with a black girl. I felt this connection, this happiness, this sense of, it's okay that I'm dark. But it was true. Racism was a big thing because I had white Barbies. I honestly believed someday I was going to become white. Because no one told me it was okay that I was black the way I was. I honestly believe that. But you know, wow. So, finally, something, I mean, it was one day, I was in the shower, and, you know, my dad showers me, and my dad, puts me to sleep, and he reads a book. I don't remember what I did. But, you know, those things, the thing that you scrub on your back, like, it's like, we call them lip balms. I don't know what they're really called, to be honest. It's like a net, and it's wrapped around, and it has a stick, so it helps you, like, lupas or lipa, whatever you call it, wash your back. So my dad is showering me, and all of a sudden, he grabbed that. He grabbed that, and he started beating me. He grabbed that, and he started beating my arms, my legs, my bum, my face, everything. And all I could do was scream, Mama, what are you doing? You need to open the door, you're gonna kill her. That's all my mom could say. My mom was 9 months pregnant with my brother. she's like, you need to open this door, you're gonna kill her. I was running around jumping, like I swear I was jumping all over the damn ceiling. Like it was that bad. So hard, like I felt my bones soaring. I opened the door. Even though my dad kept beating my hands, I opened the door. My mom was pushed him and said, why would you do this? Why are you trying to hurt her? And I ran out the washroom and I ran to my safe place, my pillow, my bed. All I could think to myself was, I love this man. But he hurt me. He hurt me worse. Like, it's like, I had beatings before, you know? Let's be real. I had beatings before. I had spankings in the bum. I had pitching. I fought with my sisters. I had scratches all over my arms. I had that before. It's not like I never had a beating. But just the fact that this guy, who I love, who's my father, who has shown me all the love that I know, and is actually somebody who's an adult figure that I honestly look up to, beats to death. Like, I honestly believe he was, like, I don't understand. Like, I don't even know how long it would have went if he had stopped. And that was my first experience of abuse, physical abuse. That was my first experience. It was scary, you know. It was like I still feel the intensity on my bones of just getting hit. And like my bones just cracking, and like I'm only 6 years old. So from that day forth, my mom was walking to school with me, Emily, and I would be excited, you know. We'd walk and we'd go to Safeway, and I remember I wanted this candy so bad, and she was like, "Oh, nope, you're not getting that candy." She ignored me. I was like, "Mom, give me that candy." All the way home. But the funny part is I took that candy home. So it was like, when I got home, my mom's like, "What? You had that candy the whole time?" And she's like, I'm like, "Yeah." She's like, "Well, you can have it. You already stole it." I was like, "Oh." And that was my first time I stole. So, Outcast to Outstanding. This was 0 to 6. I experienced racism, abuse, abandonment, neglect, you know. This story really, this is where it all started. You know, things that weren't addressed from this girl abusing me. This girl giving me racist, like, remarks. From not really having my sisters there for me, you know. They were busy with their lives, or they felt like, you know, they had their crew. I had my little sister, but it wasn't the same. And just having that that stuff going down, and no one to actually say, "Hey, Sylvia, are you okay?" You know, that's why it all started. During this time of my life, from 0 to 6 years old, the songs that come to my life is probably "Changes" by Tupac, Shania Twain, "Still the One," and "Superstar." I don't remember who that artist is for this song, but yeah, "Superstar" was one of those songs during that time. It was the 90s, so, you know, those are 3 songs I totally remember off my head during that time period. It was really, it was that time. So, yeah, I like those songs. It was, I feel like it did kind of resemble the things I was going through, because Changes really showed how things just kept going and changing. You know, adjusting to Canada from adjusting to another province, you know. And later on, racism. Shania Twain Still the One showed me to like feel like I felt the sense of love, you know, and I feel like that was so hard for me to find in my household, only unless it was for my dad, you know. My little sister was little, so like it's like I show her love, she doesn't show me love, or like we play together, but it was like a partner in crime to play with, but it wasn't like the need of somebody bigger than me to show me love. So I only had three people, and then of course Barney was the only person that showed me said I love you. Superstar really let me feel being myself. It resembles me being myself in the story. I was myself. I was told, reach for the stars. You know, be like it. Just that song really resembled me being me and realizing that it's okay to be you. You are a superstar, girl. You know, despite all the nagging and mean and nonsense that everyone was telling me otherwise. You guys with for 0 to 6 years old would have to be shout out to people who grew up with emotionally and supportive parents and have to hear other people talk about how supportive their families are while they're basically guiding yourself through life. You're strong and brave, you know. Don't forget that, you know. It's not really a quote, but it's just like something I felt like I needed to say because it is hard. It's hard. And this was just the beginning. And all I knew was this is the actual quote I want to say actually. Sometimes you don't even realize you're blocking your own blessings by holding on to the past and being stuck on old energy. This guy's name is Universes. Universes, or I don't know from where it's from, but yeah, so hearing that quote really made me realize that I'm so happy to be releasing it, you know. I feel a weight lighter just knowing that I had released just the beginning, first 6 years of my life, you know. Being able to release that helped me to really feel like it's going, you know, it's going and it's happening, and y'all are a big part of it. So thank you for being a part of it because it really is needed to be said. It really needed to be done. And I'm excited for more because it doesn't get easier. It gets worse before it gets easy. And my life was a roller coaster. But now I'm here and I survived. So please keep God in your minds today. And do keep in mind you're a great person. Don't let nothing put you down. Release the God and Goddess within you because you got no choice but to win, honey. Goodbye.